Reflections is the latest exhibit at the Niagara Pumphouse Arts Centre. It features 22 pieces of art from 15 different artists, all of them members of the Niagara Arts Collective.
This is a picture that I took about a year ago and that I worked on for a while. I wasn't sure what was going to come out of it, but just slowly started drawing and painting. And I just love the summer activities in Niagara on the Lake. Not just summer, but to me, that's my favorite season. So the picture was actually from a very early spring, and the trees weren't that green yet. So I had to change a little bit and adapt to make it more of a summer picture.
It's a very real image of what someone would see from that vantage point on Queen Street.
The way I work, I like to do realism. I try to, I've tried to do different technique and to loosen up a little bit, but I always go back to very realistic work. It's very hard to change that.
What's it like to have this collective show? Often, when artists display their work, it's a show with only their own work, but here we have a number of different artists. Is there a communal feeling to an exhibit like this?
Definitely. I mean, being part of the collective is being part of a very supportive group of artists. We have artists that do all sorts of media. We have sculpture, we have glass, we have photography, and everybody is so supportive. And that's what I enjoy about it, is that it would be much more difficult to have a show just for me. It's a lot more work, it's a lot more responsibility. We share this now, and it just makes things so much easier.
Ron, can you explain this piece, Duo 77?
Last year, I started working on a series of work where I realized, after working for about 60 years, that I'm a romantic and a modernist. So this is the romantic modernist dilemma, is how to balance beauty and the sublime. So I have a whole series of work based on this kind of thing, where you have two elements that are seemingly different, but they're corresponding to parts of my life as an artist. And it's things that I think about. The steps in this came from a dream that I used to have when I was a little kid, a recurring dream, that I would stand at the bottom of a staircase and it went off into the stars. And it was wonderfully comforting to me. It was fantastic. And it keeps coming back every once in a while as an image that needs to be paired with something that seems a little more erratic. Now, the other side of the image has a lot of elements that I've been incorporating in work for about 20 years. There's a lily pad, the circles, the sort of active background. The idea with that was to create a background where the surface tension was broken up by the elements that were added to it. So it's collaged items on that. It's pretty much acrylic. The other side is oil paint. I work with both. I also do sculptures and different photography as well. Some of the duos actually have a still life photograph juxtaposed against either a print or an oil painting or something like that.
It's kind of rare for an artist to have two distinct kind of images separated the way you do here in this duo.
It is, and it's something that I had the idea about 10 years ago, and I made a few mock-ups, and somebody at the pump house asked me for a picture of me as a little kid, and I have all these paper drawers that I went through, and I realized I came across the mock-ups, and I thought, what I need is just something, a background around the two elements for them to play off. So almost all of the backgrounds are split, as well as the imagery, if you like, on either side. And that seems to be the difference that makes it work. And, I do my own framing, I do everything else. So
Reflections is on now until March 25th at the Joyner Gallery inside the Pump House. Reporting for The Source, I'm Mike Balsam.